place where the sun don't shine and the rain don't sleep. Where the freaks run free from the drugs they take till they R.I.P. From the land by the sea where the grass is green and the sound stay deep. It smells like Teen Spirit 253 till I die. I'm from a cloudy place where the sun don't shine and the rain.
Greetings to Comptonites. This episode will be talking about something we all probably have heard about by now. If not, not sure where you've been at. We're going to talk a little bit about the Kia boys, except for now we're calling them the FIA boys, the Future Inmates of America, FIA. So this all started with a TikTok challenge, but we shouldn't be surprised really though. Some of us remember them having to put warnings on Tide Pods saying that we weren't supposed to eat them, right? So no, I don't 100% blame TikTok either. Pretty pro 1A, 2A, etc. I believe we already got enough censorship going on online, platforms such as Facebook, hence my breaks from you guys I take pretty frequently. Now these days I feel like I want to puke most time I hear this word, but at what point is it toxic that TikTok allows this kind of stuff to be posted? Now, granted, some of us remember a thing called the Anarchist Cookbook, which was a big First Amendment deal because it had some pretty nasty stuff in it that a lot of people didn't think people should have access to. Anyway, this is a little bit different than that. I do hear they're starting to take some of those videos down. Some states have even sued TikTok. I believe Washington might even be one. I can't remember. But anyway, back to these FIA boys. The trend popped up on TikTok, but this is so widely known now that even I could do it, and I don't really use TikTok. It's ridiculously simple. You don't even need a USB cable really to do it. You just need something, Leatherman or a screwdriver. This is where Kia really screwed up, and Hyundai too. They didn't have any kind of immobilizer technology on them during certain years on certain models of cars. Not having this technology was a standard back in the day when people could just pop an ignition with a screwdriver, start a car, or use a worn down Honda or Toyota key, and you could open a car and start a car in seconds. Modern days, this shouldn't really be a thing. But mobilizer technology should just be standard on cars, in my opinion. Now, I'm not putting all the blame on the manufacturer either. There is one last critical component in this car theft recipe that's necessary, and that's some dirtbag who doesn't care if you have a way to get to work. They don't care if you have a way to get your kids to school or the babysitter. They don't care about the people they crash into when they injure them or kill them. Some of them are laughing about trying to run people over. Recently, they've been trying to run people over in Tacoma. A rumor has it that they have ran a couple people over. Even if you get your car back and it's not wrecked or vandalized, you still got to deal with broken window, broken ignition, possibly some impounds, some towing fees. A lot of people have had this happen and had to wait months for parts to come in. They're just out of car, can't get to work, can't go to the grocery store. Even if they did have insurance, it's horrible. It takes a toll on people. These guys are commonly seen with masks on. Sometimes they are without masks. Usually hanging out car windows, begging to catch a street sign to the face. One could only hope. There's usually a busted out rear passenger window, and if not, at least one of the other windows is gone. They know how to pop an ignition, start a Kia, but they don't know how to break into a car without breaking a window. So I'm not even sure when it became cool to be rolling around in a Kia. I remember when we were younger, they were kind of the budget cars. Great deal on a commuter car with a good warranty on it and everything. I even had one back in the day. Not one of these models, luckily, but I mean, can you imagine back in our day, kids rolling around in Gremlins or a Pinto or something and calling themselves the Pinto Boys? How ridiculous that would be. It's not much less ridiculous now to me. So the worst part about all this is that with the changes in the pursuit laws, the individual department policies, and the complete lack of consequences, even if these folks do get caught, it only seems to be getting worse. They become bored with just stealing Kias and posting on Instagram. A lot of people in the beginning of this crap were saying they were just kids just kids out for a joyride, and they really downplayed the whole thing. Well, the problem is they have these stolen cars they use to rob people at gunpoint now. They crash them into stores like vape shops, weed shops, gun shops. A very common thing to use as or burglary tools. And they'll leave the one behind that they smash and take off in a second stolen car. It happens all the time. They know the police can't chase them, so they do this crap and there's zero consequences. They'll even pull up the crime scenes where police are on scene for a crash or something else, taunt the police, record them, and then take off recklessly. They know they can't be chased. Sometimes they post these crimes on Instagram, TikTok. A lot of it's for clout, for attention, which is part of the reason why even police departments don't even want to call them the Kia boys anymore. They don't even want to give them that little bit of respect. They want to call them delinquents or something else. Usually travel in multiple stolen cars at once, usually multiple teens in each car. I've been told the police morale in the city's pretty low right now, as you can only imagine. These guys are just demoralizing them daily, and they're just powerless. They can't do anything unless there's a armed robbery that they have a good solid description and PC for. The state law says they can't chase them, not for just a stolen car or reckless driving or something like that. It has to be DUI or a very specific range of crimes. Sometimes we get lucky and Washington State Patrol's Smokey, the plane, is up in the air. A lot of people hear it and ask about it, and you can track it on the Flight Radar or Flight Aware app. But anyway, when Smokey's up in the air, he can assist. They can assist with tracking the vehicles without putting the public in danger. Sometimes the police get lucky and they get spikes out. Sometimes kids are dumb enough to do something that actually allows a pursuit, such as armed robbery or assault one. Sometimes we get lucky and they turn down a dead end road. Now I want to talk a little bit about prevention. Some of the things you can do to protect your Kia or Hyundai. That is, if you're still brave enough to own one of these things. According to the NHTSA website, this was posted February 2023. Hyundai and Kia have developed theft deterrent software for millions of their vehicles that lack an immobilizer and will provide it free of charge to vehicle owners. Software updates the theft alarm software logic to extend the length of the alarm sound from 30 seconds to 1 minute and requires the key to be in the ignition to turn the vehicle on. I'm not sure why people have these cars and have not done this, but I'm surprised to hear that there are some people that don't even know about the vulnerabilities of this car. Sometimes the kids don't know that the car has had this update or they don't care, and you'll still end up with a broken window or messed up ignition. Now, I recently saw a video on the news stating that the cars can still be stolen with the update, so what a complete joke, really. Another route you can go that's been suggested by local police departments is to get the club. This might be a deterrent for some, especially kids that can go a block over and grab an easier target. The problem with the steering wheel club is you can cut the steering wheel and slide it right off. And this isn't new information I'm leaking. This isn't breaking news here. My cousin had his Celica stolen back in the 90s. They left his club sitting in the parking spot where his car was. Cut the steering wheel, slid it right off. It was back in the 90s, so people have known about this for a really long time. Not a lot of modern day Kia thieves are toting a saw blade, bolt cutters, Leatherman, something to cut a wheel. So it might help prevent it. They do make a club and some other anti-theft devices that basically lock up your pedals, preventing people from shifting into drive if you have an automatic transmission. And I hear those ones are a lot harder to defeat. And most likely, thieves will just move on if they see something like that. There's also things like boots, like when you park somewhere you weren't supposed to, and they put the boot on your car and you can't move it, it attaches to your wheel. They also make those that you can purchase for your own car, and that's a pretty good deterrent too. Another great tool that works on these cars and every car is a kill switch. Kill switch is a hidden switch prevents your car from starting or functioning properly. You can wire a kill switch to the fuel pump, to the starter, to the fuel injection system, etc. I've even seen some with multiple kill switches where folks have a series of switches you have to activate in a certain order, and they've incorporated the regular buttons on the dash uh, to the formula so that you have to, for instance, turn on your rear defroster, hit the hidden switch, wait 3 seconds, and then turn your car over. And it's pretty sophisticated to do, but you can pay somebody to do that, or if you're smart with wiring, you can do that yourself too. That makes it really hard for someone to steal your car. And we all know they can't really chase because of the law, unless certain circumstances are met, but there are also policies within departments that restrict when they can chase, even for violent felony. And I've been told that officers have faced discipline for driving too fast during an authorized pursuit recently. The people doing this, they all know this is going on, and all they got to do is hit that go pedal and they're home free. It's kind of a joke. As I was working on this podcast, a caravan of 3 stolen Kias full of these boys, Kia boys, FIA boys, from the north end, ran from some units on the north end. They passed several south end units near 56th and Alaska, eventually got to 60th Pacific, where they crashed into a truck. Whole time they weren't being chased, by the way. Caused minor injuries to the guy in the truck. They, of course, fled on foot, hopped into another one of the stolen cars, two of the other stolen cars, took off, left one behind. The one that they left behind burst into flames. Eventually ditched one of the other 2 Kias, and they all stuffed into the last one, which was a yellow Kia Soul. Eventually, that one ended up near 96 in Alaska, where somewhere in the area they crashed into a Lakewood patrol unit. They then ditched the car at the Terror Heights, or as some of us like to call it, the Terror Heights. Just one more example of the little rampages these little kids go on. So, anyway, I think we've given them enough attention for the night. This is Compton Files, out of service. Good night. Stay safe out there.
Don't shine in the rain, don't sleep. When the freaks run free from the drugs they take till they R.I.P. From the land by the sea where the grass is green and the sound say deep. But it smells like Teen Spirit 253 till I D.I.E.